This video may have been a little overdue or perhaps avoided as much as possible, and quite frankly, I really had no interest in talking about this, nor had I seen this coming to begin with. But since people are requesting it, I guess I gotta put my honey in the jar. Basically, when Scum dropped their most anticipated update, which was 0.8, it had raised some controversy amongst some veterans of this game, leaving them doing nothing but to leave Steam reviews with negative comments under Scum's page, which really didn't do anything, to be honest, at least on the development side of things, and I'll get to that later in this video. For me personally, it raised a crap ton of red flags and just a bunch of tingly feelings I didn't want to have, but nonetheless, it happened. Everybody was disappointed, to say the very least. And I was very much on that list as well. I wanted Scum to do well. I enjoyed the game while it was going strong, and devs seemed to listen to its community and not necessarily the money put in the wallet. But when they finally collaborated with JDEX, things slowly started to take turn, and not in the best way possible. I made a video addressing some of my concerns, then of course, little do you know, diehard fans and their royal content creators start to reach out to me saying, "Keep digging yourself a hole in this community, pal, you ain't going nowhere." And I did what I do best, and I tossed a little fuel to the flame and I said, life is tough, wear a helmet, kid. That was the end of it. And the community went a bit silent on me despite their previous support and optimism on my channel. Truth to be told, people hate criticism, and when something comes up in large quantities and the game is falling apart, that's when the defense mechanism kicks in, and for the wrong reasons. Despite all of that, the real ones stuck with me though, through it all, and they know who they are. And I will praise those people because they are not afraid to be outlined in front of others. Incredible character trait to have, and I love you guys for it. Once again, you know who you are. Anyways, months later, Scum content creators that were defending Scum back when I was the first one to address its issues, all of a sudden, they went crazy too. What a surprise, isn't it? Well, they start to post videos with thumbnails clearly indicating that Scum has some major issues within the game, and developers are changing their overall vision for the game, basically talking about the game going into the wrong direction, so to speak, which is exactly what I talked about in the video that I was being so criticized in. I guess most of them were thinking that I was just so quick to judge, but the reality of it all is when there's something changing in a drastic way in how the game is being developed, meaning you used to produce the content people wanted to see, and then all of a sudden start binge producing hairstyle DLCs and other nonsense that's not even important and doesn't even make sense, doesn't worth the money, and instead patching bugs and fixing issues that came up from the previous update that you just dropped, you instead focus most of your energy in producing hairstyles and DLCs and ignore what's not working and ruining the game as we speak. And at that point, yes, we will have a problem. And that is exactly what happened with Scum. I certainly hope it's not a lost cause because the game had some serious potential. You probably heard this a million times, but seriously, this game was something different. Although it is hard to say now, especially since the decision making is now taking place between two parties, but let's just stay optimistic and say that the game will somehow manage to pull itself out of this mess that it's currently in. For one, let me address the toxic part of Scum's development and some of their decision making routes. I'm not going to name any names. I think people are very well aware of what I'm about to say, who I will refer to. There was a genuine content creator that was very consistent with posting videos about Scum, whether it was update videos or simple gameplay videos. It was there, he loved the game. But as soon as he started to address its problems and concerns regarding the development of the game on Twitter, he was blocked by one of the devs. That's right, the guy who was publicizing and making you money, publicizing your game for years, gets blocked by addressing a serious issue, and how the current focus from the devs is hurting the game as a whole. That was one of the things that I found was strange and completely out of place. And here's what happened, kinda in a nutshell. Scum decided to introduce hordes of puppets into their game, which is a phenomenal idea, don't get me wrong, but its execution was awful. And to this day, actually, I believe that they decided to implement something that they cannot handle as a team. They just can't. They're not built for it. Puppets would randomly spawn in houses which have been explored by the player already, Let me rephrase that a little bit so it makes even more sense. You run around collecting material and loot houses one by one. There will be a farmhouse on the hill that you have already explored and looted, right? Fully. You manage to kill all stranglers that were just running around on streets. Then you would encounter one puppet that screams and attracts hordes of them again, and all of a sudden the house, that farmhouse on the hill that you looted literally 4 minutes ago, you would see one or two run out of it as if you were never there to begin with, so on and so forth. Of course, content creators would talk about it and devs would sweep everything under because they have more DLCs to worry about, because they already partner with somebody who requests a stable flow of income. And this would be my 2 cents on Scum. People ask me all the time to make videos about it, but this is just the reality of it all, you guys. Would I suggest Scum at this current state? Absolutely not. Stay the hell away from it. I played this game so much, I had a blast. But that was a couple of years ago. And now, it's just not the same. And the content creators who criticized me before and thought that I was so just judgmental, you're just a funny character, aren't you?